Welcome to an unnamed series I'm doing here. Just going to do some customizing. I don't know what I'm going to call it. I have a couple things on Instagram, and I was like, oh hey, I'll make a little thing for it. And then I tried filming it, and my phone ran out of space, so I had to delete that so that I could record some more. But essentially, I'm taking this this Star-Lord figure, and I'm going to make him into a different character altogether. I'm gonna have to see if I can crack this guy open, and I'm gonna try two different methods. I don't really like the drill into him method, but if I have to, I will do that. I would rather not. So I'm gonna try doing this, and this was like an idea that I had to take one of these and actually just crack it this way. Nothing. I need to get tighter. Oof. Don't want to spill that. So it does leave some marks on him, which I didn't really want to do. So that's not going to work. Why they can't just make these a little easier to take apart? That'd be the best thing. So I'm going to have to get some sort of like razor and get this apart here. So and what's even more annoying is that I've packed twice to move to this location, and I still keep forgetting to bring my regular blades. I have multiple blades that I can use for this, so I gotta use this stupid blade here. Looks like I should be able to just pop this part here. Yeah, it's not gonna work. That's a bummer. I was really hoping to just be able to pop this part off and then pop the arms off, which I'm probably gonna try to do today, just to get these arms off of here. Sorry, I got a bunch of figures I gotta deal with. So we're gonna heat this guy up. Sorry for the sound. I need to get a little boiler so I can just boil these guys in the background. 'Cause that's what I've seen a lot of the other guys do. I'm actually relatively new to this. I'm used to having like Transformers and stuff where they're a lot easier. You just screws. But Transformers have now started doing mostly pins, so that makes it even harder. Yeah, their pinned stuff drives me nuts. So, interesting. Well, that came off pretty easily. So I guess we'll do that first. What's going on here? Why is this not coming apart? So I looked it up, and there's a term they call cracking cracking it, and there. Don't really want to do that, but if I have to, I will. All right, I've cut that. Making that, yeah, because I don't think this is a normal assembly here. Also want to prevent myself from cutting myself here. There. Let's just take it nice and slow. That's the rule. Yeah, because this is like on here really good. That's what I got these for. This is like my favorite kind of tool. This is like it's like a needle nose, but it's slightly angled, because regular needle nose just bug me. This, I don't really care about the back of this figure as much as I do the, yeah, wow. Good, because I just completely gored the back. That's not what I wanted to do at all. This is why I'm doing this one with this guy, though, because I don't really care about it. I care about the next one I do, so I'm going to learn all my lessons on this guy. Learn them I shall. It's just wild that this still isn't coming out. Like, I wonder if they did this differently than before. It does look like there's a wider piece in there than usual. I looked up like 10 videos and saw how other people did this, and then was like, oh, well, that seems like I should be able to do this. And then, of course, I get the one who doesn't like that. And looking at this, the traditional cracking method does look doable. So what they normally do is they drill a hole here and actually break that piece. But I think if I got the right tool for this, I could probably do this without having to crack it like that and actually keep the cut. The problem is I doing it with this freaking shitty blade is a little scary. So there we go. So yeah, look at that. That is a fat arm piece. That is not the usual thing that they've had on these. But I got it open. And I threw half the pieces everywhere. All right, so I did get it open. And this is the part where they say to drill. But that looks fairly different than before. Live and learn, right? So I've got this piece apart. This is like a weird hard piece. Next, I gotta do this. So it looks like the next thing to connect it is there's a piece right there. Right there. I wonder if I can just twist this and use my snips. As I said, I'm not too worried about keeping this piece intact. This is for a very specific custom. And I also bought this for the Korg Build-A-Figure piece. So I'm not too worried about Star-Lord himself making it through the battle. Alright. Because he ain't making it at all. God bless it. Just pinched my finger. Who puts these things here? I want to know the person that does that. Because that is always where I end up pinching myself. Just don't have that. Oh. It's going to bruise. All right. I tried. Now I'm going to have to do this. There we go. So that's the best way to do it. We're going to do it like that from now on. So I'm learning on this guy. All right. I've cut that. Every time, I swear. It's because like right here is where the perfect spot is. And then bam. Bruise. Son of a bitch. This is also why this is not a kids-friendly channel. Done. Star-Lord chest is a dune. Get. Ouch. That's gonna smart. Alright, so we got the base here. Now let's hope that they haven't changed too much and I have to do a bunch of modifications. This is the part that I want to put on here. As crazy as that is. So from here I've learned, I'm going to heat this guy up. But first I'm going to cut this tie off because I tried heating this up before and the tie literally turned to putty. And I want the tie intact. That's part of the reason why I purchased this figure. So we're just going to cut that off and glue it on later. This would be infinitely easier with a sharper blade, but when I have sharper blades that aren't as thick, I tend to end up cutting myself on that. One of the pains of being a customizer is you will cut yourself. Because I don't really like how thin these legs are. I wanted the Star-Lord legs for it. But I want this part specifically for this character. This came from the Everett Ross, which I'm sure I'll use this head for something else later. From the Wakanda wave. And then this is the head that's going to go on this figure eventually. Now, knowing this, because this part wasn't coming off either, so I'm wondering if all of this is just terrible. It would be nicer to have the shorter blade or thinner blade here, but I think since I'm putting this on, putting a piece on this guy, I'm not going to worry about it too much. This is a custom. This is not it's a personal custom. This is, oh, look at that. I cracked that right there. Awesome. This is for me. So this is not like a client's one. But I will put it out there that if a client does want one of these figures, we're going to have to make sure that they know that it might look a little weird. But I like this style a lot better than trying to crack to drilling the holes. I don't like drilling the holes. And this is just something that I noticed. I'm going to have to repaint this guy anyway because I want this to be tan. I was trying to get one of the Mobiuses from Loki, but he doesn't have the right tie anyway, and I don't know. I think this one's easier to get, so if I mess it up, I can just go buy another one. No one's really jumping for the second reissue of Frodo Baggins. Bilbo. It's Bilbo, I think. No one's really clamoring for that. Look at that. Look at how much better the second time was. So if you're trying to pop one of these guys open, oh my God, look at this one. Jeez. No wonder I couldn't get that thing out. When you have I'm used to doing G.I. Joes. You just pop those things off like nothing. All right. Good. That was much less painful than the previous one. Now, problem, oh no, actually it shouldn't be too bad because it's about the same shoulder depth here. Yeah, it should be okay, should be good. And you'll see once we get down, this is going to be on there as well. You'll see what this custom is once we get down. And oh, look at that, I moved the pin out. That's scary, didn't mean to do that. I'm going to try to just break this part because this is the part that needs to go there. Push that pin back in. And then we'll try this side. That's the other thing I've learned with this. If you are left or right-handed, just twist the figure. Don't try to do it with your other hand. And don't put too much pressure on it. That's how I always end up. And the reason I like the thicker blade is that you can do like a twist while you're in there. Really dig that sucker out. There. Just cracked her. I'm also looking at possibly getting some polymer tools. It won't hurt me as much. It looks like we do have a little bit of an issue there. But I'm not going to worry about that yet because look at the difference in height. We'll see what we got here. So let's get this piece back on. So it may not actually be an issue at all. Push that back down. Just get some super glue. That is an issue. So this is too floppy. So, ugh. What are my options here? I can cut that hole bigger, or I can try to pop this part where the crotch is held, that's just another simple pop. Or these legs are way too thin. Looks like this one. Let's see what this looks like, because I don't really care about this part. Let's see what this looks like underneath here. There we go. That was a nice snap. Okay. So while I'm doing that, I'm twisting it. So like push and then twist. Crouch is pretty good there. This is the piece. This is the piece that's foiling my day. So if I can do the same on this one and just swap them out, that'll save me a whole lot of trouble. But who knows if this guy's gonna pop the same? Because this is like a brand new mold. The Chris Pratt one is a brand new one compared to the old, what is this, Chameleon, I think it was, the original. Jeez, this thing's old. Of course, this guy doesn't want to click, doesn't want to cut as easy. Let's make sure. Maybe we gotta cut the crotch a little bit too. And what else I didn't do? Gotta heat this guy up. We're gonna give him a little bit of heat. That makes it so it cuts a little easier and does a little less possibly smashing my fingers to death. And kind of whatever's left over is just going to be put for just a random custom, probably. So nothing terrible here. Let's try to cut it this way. I like having leverage. There we go. So if you got leverage, gives you a little bit more. Ability to cut her straight up there. Don't really like having to do that, but this just won't cut, and I don't feel like cutting myself on it. Okay. Not that it matters, because that's not going to be seen. Wow, this guy is a pain in the ass. Let's see if I can just... Nope, can't just twist that out. I wonder if it locks somewhere else that I'm just not seeing it. There we go. It's just a little bit further. There was some glue there that was driving me nuts. So, bingo. We have a winner. So I should be able to just slide this in here and in here. As I drop it on the floor. I found it. I got it. We're good. All right. So part of this guy, being as it was, it's locked in there. And then I'll squeeze this in. All that. Which side was the top? I think this was the top, right? Yeah. Okay. Way I don't squish it together wrong. Grab a piece of cardboard. This right here will do, so I don't scuff that up. Those pieces sure do love falling. I don't know what kind of plastic this is. But it doesn't heat quite as easily as the other stuff does, so just come on. Just trying to get this guy to squeeze in here. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cut this, because this is part of the issue. That this doesn't wanna, there. Kind of give it a little bit of a thing. So this is a little bit, for whatever reason, this piece is thinner there, so that's why it's not fitting. This piece is what I was in there. So what we might have to do is shave this off a little bit, which this really would help if I had a, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to cut that, so I'm gonna have to use this thing. I need to get like all my tools here is the issue. You know what, we're gonna do this the down and dirty way. Why they can't just make these all the same? You think that being a factory, it would make more sense to have these all be the same, so that they don't have to constantly be switching stuff, and then you could switch any guy to any guy, right? Nope. Why would they do that? It almost sounds like it would make sense, and that's why they don't do it. Ooh, even better, we're gonna use the clamps here. There we go. Now, he's on there. I will super glue this later, but for now, it's gonna have to be this. And we'll see how this all works. Oh, did I just put the wrong one back in? No, I didn't. Okay. It just looks like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? This piece is like inset on this. So there's his waist normally. And on this one, it's like sunk in. So you see how it's got like an inset there? So to get this one in, it's going to do the same thing. Did all that for nothing there. So what I've got to do, now that's actually better. That's actually pretty good. What I've got to do, so I'll have to get a drill and drill this piece down as well as cut that. Ugh. Oh, you're killing me here. But this will do for now. So we're going to clamp this down again. Come on. I don't want to have to keep it like that. There, I'll do it this way. Clamp that crotch. Crotch clampers. You don't get that molded on there, but you see it still has that space. And mind you, I have some stuff I could probably squeeze in there and just cover that space, but I don't want to do that. I want to, he is going to have a belt though, so maybe that's not so much of an issue. We'll see once we get there. All right. I'll put this front piece on. Yeah, you know what? I'm not even going to worry about that right now, because he is going to have a belt. So that's cool. Gonna go grab some super glue. Should be over here. Okay, well I found another thing I wanted to grab anyway. But I have no idea where my super glue is, and I just had it here like last week. Well, guess I'm gonna have to do that later. We'll do that part later. That'll be part 2 of this series. Me finding super glue that I know I have in here. This is the problem with moving anything, is that you will never be able to find anything. All right. Put that there. Pop this right here. I might just go buy some super glue, honestly. Come back there. So there's his chest. And I'll just have to fix this tie. Actually might have another tie from another character I could use. I don't want those, I want the new ones. So I want these here. These are gonna be with a pain. So if you notice that, they don't fit in here at all. Because this has some goofy other thing that's on here. So I gotta figure that out too. Figure out how I'm gonna do that. I might just swap these pins out. Let's see if that works. Well, that's attached to that. This is also the joy of these pinless ones. I may not be able to just pull this out easy. I may have to do some damage to this. Well, that pulled that off pretty easy. Yep, cool, awesome. Actually, both of these are pinless. So I'm kind of wondering why they haven't had pinless this whole time. Honestly. This seems like this should have been like day 1 pinless. Let's see what we got here. So that piece folds in there pretty easily. This is actually holding pretty good together without even having to do that. So this crotch piece is the only one that I'm really gonna have to worry about getting that going. So that's about the same. I'm trying to figure out the easiest possible way I could do this. And I think some repainting might be it. One of my favorite interactions that I've had recently. Actually, this was years ago, but still the same. It was with one of my cousins. I sent him a picture of a custom thing I did, and he just sends back, how? All right. So, there's that. Where is... That's the same arm. Where's the other arm at for him? There it is. So if I can plop this into here, I just have to do some simple repainting instead of redoing everything. Where's his shoulder at? There. That's close enough. That's close enough, and I should just have to shave off that one little bit. Ta-da! I can't wait to have all my tools in here. It's gonna be wonderful. That's all I got. All I can tell you. All right, so we'll heat this up. I gotta get a boiler. It'll be a lot easier. I just drop these parts in there and then pop them all apart. See, a lot of people have those. I have to see if there's a specific one a lot of people recommend. Oh, that looks like crap. That ain't gonna work. All right, back to the drawing board here. I believe this was this arm. Yeah. Pop that back on. Let's see what we can do here. Oh yeah, it's definitely hooked in there. So we'll take the back side, give it a nice little slice. And this should pull right out here. There we go. So this piece, now here's the fun part. This piece probably isn't going to fit in the other one. I can almost guarantee it right now. It's going to be smaller or bigger or something. Something stupid's going to happen here, and I'm just going to get angry. I can almost guarantee it. So which side was the back? This is the back. It's oh, we might get lucky. It looks like the outer ring is bigger, but the inner ring is not. Inner ring looks about the same size. Inner ring, pretty much the same size there. So that's nice. Wonder if there is any difference. I might just have to slice that a little bit. I mean, there's a little bit of a difference. It's weird because this is actually glued together. I just got a low power warning. This thing's, my stupid battery's been charging all day. To hell. Anyway, it is a little bit smaller. So I got two options. I can drill that hole bigger and plop that in there, which is probably going to be the easiest route. Trying to get anything to fit like that, because this is just a little bit too small to fit that. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna go grab my drills and see if I can just drill this a little bit bigger, and then we're gonna have something here to show you. Jeez. Where the heck are my keys? I'm just having a day. There now. I'm back. All right. Let's get the drill out. Get some drilling done. Is this gonna be big enough? Yeah, it should be good. I'd love to have my other drill bits here. So I guess I'm gonna have to bring those. Let's see what we got. This one big enough for this, or is this too big? That's a little too big. This side's perfect. Of course, this is a masonry bit. Not quite as good as regular one. I'll figure it out. Okay. I have to hold this. There we go. Now this is the problem with all the pinless ones that they're coming out with, is that they're kind of, they put this inside and then they pour the, inject the stuff. So it's like, it's real hard to get it in there once you want. So let's see if I can trim this a little bit. Not a fan of the pinless tech for customizing. Just putting that out there. I liked being able to purchase these and actually customize stuff. And I've only been doing Marvel Legends stuff for a little bit. Most of the time I'm doing G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe stuff, for whatever reason, never has this issue. You can pop everything off. I think that's because they've just been doing it so long that they figured it out. Man. This video is getting pretty long. I might have to upload it and delete it just so I can have space. All right, now I gotta grab some more cardboard. I've just been using pieces from random stuff I got around. Because once you get this hot enough, you have to then squeeze it into place. So I love how it's like burning my hand and not doing anything to the actual plastic. So there we go. You definitely want something to protect the inner parts here. Once this cools off, it should be okay. The other thing that I like to do with any of these is, since I did it this specific way, is I can actually take a screw and just screw it in the back here, and it locks it in there real good. If not, it could eventually pop out. But for the most part, I think I've got this guy in there relatively good. So I can stick it back in here. There we go. So now he's good. We might have, oh, there, it popped right in. Cool. This guy just needs some super glue. I'm also going to get some I'm also going to get some baking powder, I think it is, because that actually really helps the super glue process kick through. That's it. By the next time, I should have this other arm done. And then we'll be putting his coat on and hopefully reattaching that tie. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, comment for future updates. This guy is, I think, about like 50% done. Oh, you know what? The other thing I could do? I forgot about that. I could do this. Could do that. Give you a little taste. And heat up Boba's head. Heat up Boba's head here, nice and gummy. Pop this part off, since for whatever reason, Star Wars figures, you cannot pop their damn heads off as easy. Because they make it where you can, all right, guess it's not hot enough. They make it where you can just put the helmets over it. I prefer popping heads off over putting helmets on. Just putting that out there. This is also where having that boiler is going to be a lot better. So I think that might be my next purchase, is getting one of those. Putting that on the old Amazon list. That head might be a little tight, but it fit. Awesome. This is gonna look great. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let me tap that. Look at that ugly mug. Look at that head. That looks nothing like Boba Fett. But I love it. Yeah, as I said, like, subscribe, comment, and next time I should have this other arm in, and I'll be ready to put some more stuff on this guy, and we'll catch you later. I'm Alpha Magnus, and these are toys.